And now to anti-corruption fight, Governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, has urged the National Assembly to establish a special court dedicated to handling corruption cases in Nigeria. Governor Sule made the call at the passing out parade of Detective Superintendent Cadets Course 10 and Detective Inspector Course 7 of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, held at the Nigerian Police Mobile Force Training College, Akwanga, Nasarawa State. In his remarks, Sule noted that corruption trials in the country often drag on for too long, undermining the fight against the menace. According to him, until Nigeria addresses corruption decisively, the country will not be taken seriously on the global stage. Now, to help put this into perspective, we are joined by the Executive Director, Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership, Debo Adeniran. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeniran, for joining us. I'm going to ask you right now, is a special court the most urgent need, or should our priorities be given to, reforming and strengthening existing institutions and judicial processes?
Well, thank you very much. The quest for special courts to try corruption cases was born out of the concern of a majority of Nigerians that corruption cases drag for too long. You can just remember that cases of James Ibori, cases of Joshua Darie, Jolin Yame, and a few others drag for so long and more than 13 years. And there are so many cases that are still pending in various courts now. And because of these frustrations and because of the myriads of cases that are coming up on daily basis, and when you get to the shelves of ICPC, EFCC, you find scattering dust, on their shelves that borders on corruption. And Nigerians are impatient to see these corrupt elements being brought to book. And that is the reason why they want a situation whereby we speed up the adjudication into the corruption cases. Because of the complaints by the regular courts that, okay, they have a plethora of several other cases that is delaying them, and because of the tax employed by the corrupt elements to ensure that a case delayed is a case denied. So once a case stays for so long, evidences will have been arbitrated, witnesses will have been frustrated, and so the case will be we come to an abrupt end, or maybe will be frustrated out of court. And even the judges themselves, they could have been overworked. So basically, it might not have been an urgent need, but it is a need, an essential ingredient to ensure that corruption cases don't suffer unnecessary delays that is being suffered now.
All right, let's look at, Mr. Adeniran, sorry to interject you at this point, but let's look at our present judicial system. Do you believe it lacks the capacity or will to handle corruption cases effectively, and thereby justify a separate court?
It is not because they lack capacity. It is also not because they are not interested in trying corruption cases. It is because they have too much on their hands to deal with. And because several other cases are brought to the same court, they do not have adequate time to prepare for adjudication in cases of corruption. They are, you see, judges are not machines. They need to study evidence. They need to compare notes. They need to to check all the cases, precedents that are cited by the lawyers both prosecution and the defense lawyers. They will cite several precedences. They will cite several cases that have been that are similar to the one being heard. The judges will have to go into those books. When they do this side by side with maybe other civil matters or less criminal cases, they will be frustrated, and they may not be thorough. I will not say they will not. They may not be thorough in the study of the cases presented in their courts. So basically, if they are specialized, they will be able to concentrate on corruption issues. They will not doubt what constitutes corruption in the charges that are brought by the anti-corruption agencies and the police before them. They will have been they will have been specialists in understanding the dynamics of corruption in our country, and they will have they will not have problems in consulting. So all of these are the reasons why judges should be adopted to handle corruption cases, even if courts will not be set aside. But then it doesn't take a rocket science to set up, anti-corruption courts, just to assign, some premises for these courts and appoint judges that don't have any trace of corruption in their records. For those who have excelled in the practice of law and have done well adjudicating into other cases that were brought to them without accusation of corruption. These are the thoroughbred judges that will handle corruption cases, not those that have been tainted by one complaint or one allegation or the other from those who had had cases before them in the past.
Mr. Adeniran, I'm sorry, but I have to interject at this point. But I just want to ask you right now, if things happen or if things go in such a way that there's separate courts are now established, right? How can the government ensure that courts like this do not become politicized or weaponized for selective prosecution?
Well, definitely it will not be, because anti-corruption organizations like ours will not leave them alone. We will always have our watch brief in those courts. Then they will also be duty bound to adhere to the rules and regulations that will govern such courts. And journalists like you, investigators, and so on and so forth, we also concentrate their efforts. They will mount surveillance in such courts. So all of these will ensure that cases that are brought to such courts are not politicized, because you guys in the media will not allow anything to pass without reporting them. But if it is modeled up with the regular courts, you may not even know where the corruption cases will be coming up, and maybe they will be underreported. It is when they believe, when judges and litigants believe that the clegg eyes and clegg eyes are not on them, eagle eyes of investigative journalists are not on them, that they are able to manipulate the process to favor the corrupt elements, and they get away with their crimes.
Mr. Debo Adeniran, I believe you have a lot more to say, but I apologize. We'll have to just wrap things up here as regards this conversation. But thank you so much for allowing us to have this conversation with you.